I was talking to a reporter the other day about this actually, and one of the things I tried to convey is, people have a lot of nostalgia for the classic defined benefit plan without really thinking back about what that was and what it would, there are a number of aspects to it that just don't translate to the current time, including, by the way, working for the same employer for 30 years and a whole range of different challenges. What they really want is that kind of secure lifetime income. It's sort of a shorthand for that. And we have to come up with, private sector solutions for that assured lifetime income, which, by the way, also inure ultimately to the government, to benefit to the government to some degree, in the sense that it reduces the demands on government services if people are able to plan for their own, retirement and secure income going forward. So, with regard to that discussion about annuities as an option for people, Senator, if I could ask you, building upon that whole thinking about options for people for secure lifetime income, can you speak a little bit to policymakers' perspectives on annuities as lifetime income and how you think about it and how we collectively should be thinking about options for making sure we have assured income throughout our retirement?
Yeah, I like what Gene said about having a broad options or broad portfolio of things to be able to rely upon, including those options that actually create income for you. And David, you talked about the traditional pension plans really relied on somebody working for a company for 30 years, and that's just not the world today. But you talked about annuities, and that's a way that an investor can actually kind of create the same sort of thing is by making that investment in an annuity to be able to create that income stream, to be able to have kind of that part of that portfolio that would include Social Security and your other investments and so forth. So annuities can be a big part of how you create that income stream that's really easy for most investors to be able to wrap their mind around and be able to get into. And when it comes to thinking about retirement and long-term thinking and so forth, this is a bipartisan issue. In 2019, Congress passed the Secure Act. That one of the things it did was make it easier for the options for annuities to be included in retirement plans, as Congress recognized that this was, again, one of the options people should have, one of the ways that people can create those retirement streams, and then came back again in Secure 2.0 to be able to further make it easier for people to have access to retirement plans and so forth. And you mentioned, Gene mentioned about that day when it comes and like the retirement and so forth. One of the things we've done in the Secure Act is be able to say, hey, when you have, push back the age for when you have to start taking those required minimum withdrawals to 73, and eventually it's going to go back to 75 in the year 2033. But again, that's a way to kind of smooth this process out for if you're worried about when do I have to start taking these withdrawals, and then also am I going to have enough for when I'm still around? So we are thinking about that, and then we're going to continue to think about this. Obviously there's going to be a new administration. They're going to be looking to re-up the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which also impacts people's income tax rates and so forth. But there'll be the opportunity as we think about this thing to think, what are the other things we can do to make sure that we're giving people access to retirement planning and retirement savings, and just making it easier for them to plan for making sure I've got enough money for the life I'm expecting to have.